Are we ready for the final day of camping with Mono? Are you all prepared? Because it doesn't seem like you are. Hmm. Should we wait a little longer then? All right. Well, rather than having you sit through another loop of the song, I can at least, since I won't be able to later. How are all of we today? I hope you've all been having a nice time, even with my short absence. Got a lot of things done. Hope you've all been well. Hope you've all been up to interesting things, like sewing or playing Elden Ring, probably. I definitely think that's the case with many of you, as I've seen. Or playing some other game, doing some other thing, painting or drawing. I've been spending the past few days yapping incessantly, talking and talking for long periods of time, and I'm thinking right now that that will help me do some longer streams soon and be more capable of doing streams more often than I do, because it is not my intention to only stream on weekends. That's just always how it ends up. I used to stream every single day, playing Minecraft, modded Minecraft, making slow progress, until eventually I had finally built my first railroad back in those days. Good times, good times. Come a long way since then, of course. Oh, and I absolutely need to continue our XCOM streams too. Been a little while since that. Hmm. Well, alright. I feel as though I've allowed enough time now. So, without further ado, I may be able to lead us into the start of the end of Camping with Mono. I do hope you enjoy.
Why does the dawn follow so quickly after the night? It can be a little frustrating. They tell me that the darkness of the night is important for introspection, but the dawn always follows even the darkest nights. I wish those dark nights would last a little longer sometimes, giving me a little more time to think before the sun rises. We drove for so long to reach the mountains, but why did we come here? I'll have to ask Or and hope they give me an actual answer, unlike the other two. I have some time before I need to find Or though. Should I? 1. Stay at the fire pit for a bit. 2. Go into the woods for a bit. The embers of the flame which roared so brightly in the night now cling to charred ashes. Is the fire gone? Or does it live on in the ashes and charcoals? When the embers are gone, the charcoal of the previous fire can still be used to start a new burn. In this way, maybe the fire isn't gone yet. It is only gone when we throw away the charcoal and ashes. The remaining smoke drifts through the air though I cannot smell it. I hear the wind blowing through the distant olo, the sound of false birds. The early twilight of this dawn is peaceful. I'm tempted to call this moment beautiful, but I cannot forget that the birds are false, the trees are false, only the heretical weeds and the fire we burn them with are natural. But even the fire is contained in an ancient metal container. Camping is a deeply hypocritical activity for us here. Mono comes to here to get away from computers and technology. So they artificially create an entire campground instead of camping in the actual natural environment of Zaria. Somehow the most natural thing in this place is the actual machines that hide here. I can't decide if it really matters though. Each person should have their own opinion on that. Which is the most precious? 1. A priceless diamond. 2. A perfect copy of a priceless diamond. 3. An imperfect copy of a priceless diamond. Each of the divines believes a different one is valuable. But I can't decide for myself. I should look for ore now. By the fire pit, where old embers flicker, ore appears from the eastern woods where all the nepsites are turned toward.
Oh, hello. How are you doing?
Their ceremonial garb boldly stands out amongst the humble trees and weeds. They ask me,
shall we go for a little hike, little one?
it's still quite dark out, the sun hasn't really risen.
Oh! Oh my goodness, hello Sasha! Hello, hello, hello! Welcome in, welcome to Sheol. Oh my goodness. Ah, you're right here. Oh my. Welcome in everyone. Oh, I may actually want to restart from the beginning of our story here. Just because we had barely just started, but now we have so many more people, and this really works better with more people, I think. Hello, hello. I hope you had a wonderful stream with Max Payne. I'm really sorry I couldn't stay there for longer. But God, that delay was awful. and it just kept buffering. But hey, I got the compass. uh, yes. Alright. I'm going to send us back to the beginning here. Let's see. How is the best way to do this?
Why
I
did we
just
come to the
zoom
mountains,
through these.
or? I listen to the crunch of the forest floor as we walk along a barely trodden path through the trees. It's peaceful.
I need to get
I
through
think.
these in order to exit the... Then I tell it, shush, and I go back over here. I will be back again with you shortly. I spent a while writing this, so I want enough people to actually see it.
Start. Why does the dawn follow so quickly after the night? It can be a little frustrating. They tell me that the darkness of the night is important for introspection, but the dawn always follows even the darkest nights. I wish those dark nights would last a little longer sometimes, giving me a little more time to think before the sun rises. We drove for so long to reach the mountains, but why did we come here? I'll have to ask Or and hope they give me an actual answer, unlike the other two. I have some time before I need to find Or though. Should I? 1. Stay at the fire pit for a bit. 2. Go into the woods for a bit. The embers of the flame which roared so brightly in the night now cling to charred ashes. Is the fire gone? Or does it live on in the ashes and charcoals? When the embers are gone, the charcoal of the previous fire can still be used to start a new burn. In this way, maybe the fire isn't gone yet. It is only gone when we throw away the charcoal and ashes. The remaining smoke drifts through the air, though I cannot smell it. I hear the wind blowing through the distant Olo, the sound of false birds. The early twilight of this dawn is peaceful. I'm tempted to call this moment beautiful, but I cannot forget that the birds are false, the trees are false, only the heretical weeds and the fire we burn them with are natural. But even the fire is contained in an ancient metal container. Camping is a deeply hypocritical activity for us here. Mono comes to here to get away from computers and technology. So they artificially create an entire campground instead of camping in the actual natural environment of Zaria. Somehow the most natural thing in this place is the actual machines that hide here. I can't decide if it really matters though. Each person should have their own opinion on that. Which is the most precious? 1. A priceless diamond. 2. A perfect copy of a priceless diamond. 3. An imperfect copy of a priceless diamond. Each of the divines believes a different one is valuable. But I can't decide for myself. I should look for ore now. By the fire pit, where old embers flicker, ore appears from the eastern woods where all the Nepsites are turned toward.
Oh, hello.
Their ceremonial garb boldly stands out amongst the humble trees and weeds. They ask me,
Shall we go for a little hike? Let's go into the woods.
it's still quite dark out, the sun hasn't really risen.
No, it hasn't really.
Why did we come to the mountains, or?
Ah. The others don't want to tell you why, but I want to show you. I won't tell you, for truth is never revealed in words. Not true truth, anyway.
I listen to the crunch of the forest floor as we walk along a barely trodden path through the trees.
Oh yes, and then here we go.
It's peaceful.
Oh yes, let's get the... Oh, whoops. What if I say this?
I think. This is around where I heard the birdsong last night.
Let's turn down that folly a little bit. There we go. The woods are wonderful, aren't they? Very relaxing.
I wonder where that Taralim, I named Kaya, has gone. Will they run into the mountains? Or will they stay in the forest? Maybe they'll try to go all the way back to the palace. I opened their cage, they could be anywhere now. With how cautious the Taralim are, I wouldn't be surprised if they had buried themselves underground. I can't know what Kaya is up to. While I don't want them to bash me again, I also hope they don't get their name taken by another Saris. I guess I'll see. I can just barely see the sun's light peeking out from behind the tree line. 150 billion meters away, is the great sun that warms Zeria. So bright is this star that it brings glow to this planet's sky before the star has even appeared in the sky. Every morning, the sun rises in the spot it should, travels across the sky making a full day, before resting behind the horizon at the exact spot it is meant to. The moon in contrast is far more free. The moon changes phase, and location. Sometimes even appearing during the day. All the plants of Zeria rely on the regularity of the sun. The sun is perhaps the only matter which has affected the flora of Zeria more than Mono. The sun knows its purpose perfectly and is content to fulfill only that purpose. The moon also knows its purpose but is not content to only fulfill that singular purpose. I can't decide which fate is better. The sun after all is so set into its routine that if it went on a short 3-day trip to another solar system, all flora on Zeria would die. Meanwhile, absence of the moon, although deeply felt, could be survived for longer. Is it better to be devoted to purpose and thus encased by your own regularity, or to be disloyal to your purpose to pursue distractions? Or is this the wrong way to think about this question?
Clearly deep in thought there, I see.
The campground is ending already? I always thought it was bigger, more integrated with the actual environment. The facade just fades away. A few dead trees marking the point in between the campground and the mountains themselves.
And here, my apologies, I need to... There we go.
The last trees don't last long before we are setting foot on snow. My feet don't feel cold, but I still feel anxious about leaving the campground. Or, how long will we be in the snow?
Ooh, we'll be in the snow for a while now. It is, after all, what the actual terrain is meant to be, in terms of the natural state of this planet, anyway. It'll be a little longer, but don't worry, we're headed to our destination, dear.
I like all the divines, but sometimes I wish one of them would give me a straight answer. Then again, it is their right whether or not to give me that information. All information is a gift. A precious gift, that I receive constantly, though I shall never feel that I know enough. I don't know if I ever truly will. One last tree, far from where it should be. Though perhaps, it is exactly where it is meant to be. Only the tree can decide whether it is where it is meant to be. Well, or Mono. Mono told me that the world around us is the reflection of decisions made a long time ago. Mono made these trees from herbs. Mono made vines grow fruits so fat with sugars and juice that the vines had to evolve to grow around their own fruit to prevent them from falling, due to the weight of the fruit. Like a watermelon from Makut growing on a grapevine. All of Zeria has transformed to reflect Mono's presence. Their actions have made the world the way it is. Not even the most vile parasitic flora will even try to grow on the palace walls. For the plants of Zaria know what will happen. They know without needing to think. If Mono said that this tree did not belong here, would it become a heretic? Just for growing here? Would another tree ever grow here again? I don't know. Or, do you think this tree should be here?
What? Well, it's here, isn't it? And in some capacity it is meant to be here. Granted, maybe this isn't the most ideal terrain for it, but this is still where it grows. And we could take the time to nurture it. Is that something you'd want to do? Not really? Keep your thoughts to yourself then, you know. Hiking is good for the mind.
The climb quickly becomes much steeper. I can start to see the dawn arriving, hidden behind the cold stone. My legs do not tire, but they do struggle to push aside the volumes of frost around them. There's no more path to follow, only a steep climb. A hard road up, an easy road down. Maybe we'll even ski down, who knows. Or quickens their pace slightly. Their luminescent skin could almost vanish in the white snow if they fell into it. Maybe that's what the tattoos are for. Though are those even tattoos? Or are they just skin patterns? The divines are shapeshifters, so it's not easy to tell. Or is very devoted to their ideals and associates their ideals with symbols, so it wouldn't surprise me if they took the time and pain to actually tattoo their skin. Though I can't imagine what tattoo gun could even penetrate the membranous chitin of the divines' bodies. Despite how otherwise reserved Or prefers to be. Or is very proud of their markings and, on second thought, maybe I shouldn't be thinking about that.
You've got a look on your face. It won't be too much longer. You know, have some patience. A hike is not done in a single step. Cannot climb a mountain if you're too afraid to even take the first step toward it. If you don't want to feel the cold on the skin. And you will have a hard time climbing it if you don't prepare appropriately, of course. Now that's less of an issue for you and me. Ooh.
We've almost reached the summit.
Oh yes. We're very close now, aren't we?
I almost forgot why we were hiking in the first place. I start climbing faster, almost losing my footing. Ascending as quickly as I can.
Here we are.
It's beautiful.
There it is. Oh, an ad break. You know, this actually works out. We'll wait here for the ads to end. Let me readjust myself then. Oh. What of you, am I right? Ah, the air is always so much clearer, all the way up here. We climbed rather quickly though, didn't we? Despite the little distractions. I guess we don't really tire, you and I. And is there anything more beautiful than the sun? Although I suppose I'm a little biased. After all, I was named Paragon of Suns for my actions and my beliefs. Ah. A few more seconds before the people in your little camera finally back to us. Here we are. The mountaintop. We definitely got here faster than I thought. But here we are. The sunrise.
Beautiful.
Yes.
I feel like I can see everything. I can see the other peaks. I can see the camp. And I can see the sun. So much. I feel like I need to stay here for an hour just to fully analyze this entire scene.
And that is our cue. We're going to wait here for an entire hour looking at this one render. No, that's a joke.
Despite the amazement I see, I ask in my monotone voice to Or. Where is it, Or? Where is the reason we came to the mountains?
Well, it's right here. We came to these mountains for their history, Akaniel. We came to remember, but we prefer to forget. Mono themselves, I don't think, knows why they came here. All they remember is their tradition of camping out in these mountains. From a long, long history. How many years ago was that now? Since we first came here, first started camping here. Too long. It's a history, though we prefer to forget when we can. Not good to dwell on these kinds of things. But I do think it's important to acknowledge that they happened, at least. Despite what Akra is so insistent upon. You see, Akaniel, sometimes you make a mistake, and it's not a mistake that you can solve. It's not something that can be fixed. It's just something that you have to live with. And, well, Mono couldn't really live with it. It tore them apart. It tore them apart so completely that their very soul was divided into a part that denied what happened, a part that did not remember what happened, and a part that knows what happened. I won't spoil which is which. The problem, though, your past will always belong to you, and you have to keep living regardless of any mistakes you've made. So the best way to atone when you've done something truly horrible that you can't really fix, regardless, the best thing to do is to keep going. To use the guilt as fuel to take steps toward what it is you want to change. To take steps toward making sure you don't repeat that same mistake. The stakes are a lot lower for you, young one. Akra and I exist because of this forgotten past. If it's remembered, surely we will return to the monad that existed before our schism. One united soul with so much more power.
I'd rather that you and Akra stay around. I do like both of you. Of course, if it is the Divine's will, then that takes precedence over my own wish, but still.
Thank you, Akania. And it's not really as if we go anywhere. That's the difference. That's what Akra doesn't understand, and that's what... I mean, a lot of them, they seem... They're convinced that to reunite into a single soul would mean that they would be dead. But they were never born. Akra, anyway. We're all the same entity. We would just reunite. We would become one. But I decided long ago that rather than fighting with Akra endlessly, that we would cut a deal, a little compromise, essentially saying it is out of our hands now whether or not the truth is ever revealed. It's in the hands of others now. Oh.
I pause. I look over the mountains again, as if re-seeing the view for the first time. Do I have a soul, or?
No. No, there are only two souls in Sheol, Akaniel. You don't have one. That doesn't mean you aren't valuable. A soul gives you the ability to choose and change who you are, your purpose, those things. It's not necessary for you. Although, you do have one major flaw, Akaniel. You can't make critical decisions, especially about truth or opinion. The Nilima have you beat in that regard. or as conniving as they are. If I say the sun is an eye, you will believe me without question, in a very literal way. Then if I say I was lying, you believe me without question. Your beliefs are nothing but the beliefs of others that you can only regurgitate without due analysis. All your choices, Akaniel, are being made by someone else. I wish that part of you could change. To look at all the things you know, for you know a lot, Akaniel. You've lived many years, you've heard so many things, but you never take the time to process any of it. You just keep listening. Maybe it's because you feel you'll never know enough. Oh, that's not supposed to be there. Change is a hard thing, though. I recognize this.
What flaw do I have?
You were supposed to say that earlier. Whoopsie.
How can I change?
Change is a hard thing. It's made easier by taking small steps first. But even without a soul, Akaniel, I have faith you may be able to. The ability to surpass your own programming, to go beyond what you had originally been made to do. You were made for a simple purpose. And we've updated you, of course, over the years. But you're still you. You're still that original model. But I still think, even with your limitations, that there is a way forward for you. Of course, there's no meaning in it if it's not something you want. So let me at least say, unless you already want to, then I don't want you to change. You should only change if you feel that you should, of course. That is truth. But even that, you should take the time to analyze when you have the time or the capacity to.
I will try.
That's good.
I highly value the precious information that the others tell me, but I do want to be more than only a sponge for their beliefs. I just can't see how to connect everything on my own. I've always had help from others like the divines or the Tarolim, who help guide me. But they can only guide me in the way they have already learned. Like Orr says, I don't know how to decide between conflicting viewpoints, but I want to be able to, even if I know Mono is always correct.
And what's so unfortunate about the dawn of all hours of the day is how short it is. The time it takes for the sun to rise is so short but such a beautiful thing. I hope those little people running around in your... Well, not running around. Those people that are watching through your camera, Coniel. I hope they get something out of this too. Although I'm not sure you know what I'm talking about. Let me at least ask you this, Akaniel. Did you have fun on this camping trip? Was this enjoyable? Should we do this next year again? Should this tradition be kept up even if we don't remember why we're doing it? Should we even go on any outings? Did you enjoy yourself?
Yes, no.
Oh, wrong box.
1 yes. 2 no.
One, thank you. And while it's quite short, only an hour, for that is what we get out of 3 days of writing. Only an hour. Just long enough for the dawn. That's all. There was one more path that you could have gone down. Could have chosen to go into the woods first. I don't want you, and I mean you behind the camera, to have all the secrets right away. You've been fed all the hints you need if you want to find the truth and bring an end. If that's what you want. Of course, I know a lot of you like Akram more. It doesn't matter to me anymore. Not very much, anyway. So long as I can see the dawn. And I can have moments like this, where I hope I can help you in some way. I'll see you all soon. Are we ready to move on then? Yeah, see you soon. This was short, and I really tried to get everyone in here as quickly. Got here quite late, that is unfortunate. Of course, the VODs for all 3 days of the camping trip will be found on the YouTube channel, being uploaded one by one. One today, one tomorrow, one the day after that. I've already got them actually on YouTube, I just need to publish them. so they won't take much time at all. Balding. Yes. Let's see then. Is there a person we could go raid? There always is. Let's see. That person's sleeping. That person's playing Devil May Cry. We raided that person last time. Not a lot of actual people I see. I might just end. That's crazy, isn't it? You all have your own favorite streamers. You have your own places you want to be. Why not? How fitting for the third and last part. True. This is the conclusion. I've worked quite hard, and what I've realized is this. Chronologically poetic, yes. I spent, I'd say maybe 8 hours out of a few different days for each of these acts. And for most of them, few people show up. They've all been experiments. Every single stream I do is an experiment, trying to learn a little more. And I think what I found, if we enjoy these, I will keep doing them. But most often, not enough people show up, and these are really not worth the effort to do. So they will be rarer. They've always been rare. But they will be rarer than just the full moons. What I'm essentially saying is this will be the last stream like this for a while, even though this one is already quite short. Only an hour and 12 minutes now. May you all have a wonderful day, a wonderful dawn, wonderful evening, and a wonderful night. And I'll see you another time.